My name is Adewumi Adebayo. Primarily, I'm an artist. I work around product design, experience design, branding designs, anything design. Basically, we would like to talk about design as a tool for social impact. I want to say that, when we talk about design, and there's this idea outside, when you talk about design, the focus is more on things like maybe architecture, graphic, and anything that looks visually appealing. But I think that that in itself is not sufficient enough to capture what design really is. And because if you look at design, I primarily would qualify design as a plan. Usually, for example, you wouldn't qualify something like maybe your day as a design. But the truth is that as people who are creating value, you sit down in the morning to design your day. What do? You say, okay, I wake up in the morning, I'll go to the office at first. From the office, I have a meeting, I'll go there. Then you plan, okay, I'll take this route, I'll take that route. You're already designing your day in that sense. So design is an everyday thing for everybody. Either you're conscious of it or you're not conscious of it. You are designing something every day. So design is actually it's how things work. And there's this popular quote from Steve Jobs, who said that design is not just how it looks, but it's how it works. So that immediately gives us an insight into the fact that design is both a process and a product. So when we now bring it home to what I would like to talk about as a tool for social impact, you find out that societies are developed by design. So what do I mean by that? For example, if you take policies as there's what you call policy design, which means that some people would sit down and then they would look at it. Let's pick an example. Maybe of course the most popular one for the moment is COVID. And then you begin to look, for example, I know that in Nigeria we didn't have a policy around quarantine and stuff like that, and then people had to sit down and then design it. Okay, what are the peculiarities? How does a quarantine happen? They have to go through that process. Okay, you notice that somebody has an issue, he manifests some symptoms. Okay, how do we get to where he is? How do we cover up ourselves to make sure that that's design? We're already designing those things, and then you now get to the center itself. Okay, what's the procedure? That procedure itself is a design process. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you get to the place. Okay, at the gate we have to make sure that we disinfect you. Even the disinfectant itself, it's also a product of design. You understand? You have to sit down. Okay, what chemicals go into it? Because design comes with functionality. So for example, if you have a phone and your phone is just beautiful and it's not functioning, it's lost its essence. So design in itself is functionality, is how it works. It's not just how it looks like. So as a tool for social impact, we are saying that a society can get better by seeing every problem as a design problem. Now, if you design a brand, there's this euphoria about, we feel so good and frenzy when we design the brand and it's visually appealing and you just like your logo mark and all of that. But that in itself is not sufficient to describe what brand or branding is. It's not sufficient, because with branding design comes the brand management, and that management is essentially part of the design, because without that management, your design has no effect. With the management comes things like your customer care, because with your brand, you can say my brand is a very posh brand, it's respectable, it's elegant and all of that, and I walk into your office and it doesn't match, because customer care itself is a design process. Anything that people can experience is a design process. If I experience gridlock, it's a design problem. So what I'm saying in essence, that design is a tool that we can use to create impact if we sit down and understand what design is as a scope, rather than just limiting it to what we can interact with visually, like whatever is visually appealing. For example, there's in sound, there's sound design. You design the sound, the composer. That's the job of a composer. He sits down, he arranges the drum. He doesn't if he puts the drum before the saxophone, there's a reason why he does that. He's not just like, let's just arrange this, put the drum, put this, if the sound doesn't make sense at the end of the day, there's a problem. So it's not well designed. That's the job of a composer. So what I'm saying is that in essence, there are a lot of things that we are doing that are designs, but we are not actually considering them as design. And if we begin to consider them as design, we'll probably have something good. Like, we'll probably have a better society. Ẹnlẹ́ o ẹ̀yin ará ilé, Adéwùmí Adébáyọ̀ lórúkọ tèmi. Iṣẹ́ ọnà ni mo yàn láàyò tí mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe. Ẹ máa wo WYNK.